So what I have for you today here is something different. This is the dummy unit for the iPhone 13 Pro, and this is the dummy unit for the iPhone 14 Pro that was just announced. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I want to take a look at the differences in terms of its shape and size between these two phones, and also if any of your existing iPhone 13 Pro cases will fit on the iPhone 14 Pro. So let's begin. So taking a look at the shape and size of the iPhone 13 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro, we can obviously see the biggest difference is going to be the notch, because it is now using this kind of pill-shaped thing. Again, I don't know if that will be the final product because I'm doing this video like 3 hours before the announcement is happening. And we can see that the buttons are slightly changed in terms of its positioning. So you can see the alert slider is around the same place, but the buttons are slightly offset compared to the iPhone 13 Pro. So you can see it's moved up a little bit for the volume rockers, and then the SIM card tray here is slightly lower than before. And then for the power button, this is the most apparent in terms of difference. You can see the iPhone 14 Pro is moved slightly lower. And one more apparent difference here is actually the camera cutout. Looks identical, but the dimension of the iPhone 14 Pro's cutout is actually slightly larger, to the point that your existing case will also not fit. Oh, I should also highlight that the iPhone 14 Pro's camera bump is really thick. Yeah. And so let's get a case out and try it out between these two phones and see how well it actually fits. So I'm just gonna use some random case that I was sent by Taurus. So this is for the iPhone 14 Pro. So this case is fairly simple. It's a purely transparent kind of hard shell TPU case. So if we're gonna put the iPhone 13 Pro inside, then we can see that the button is totally misaligned. I cannot even press the power button. And remember, dummy units actually have a working button. So you can see I can actually press it. And if you put the case in, then the button is just not gonna work. Same goes to the power button as well. As you can see, it is slightly misaligned. The alert slider is also a bit tight. So let me just pop out the case once more. And as you can see here, the volume button on the iPhone 13 Pro is slightly lower than the iPhone 14 Pro's buttons. And looking at the camera cutout, the iPhone 13 Pro's camera cutout is obviously going to be smaller than the iPhone 14 Pro, because you can see this case is going to get a huge gap between these two sides. So if we take this iPhone 14 Pro case and put this into the iPhone 14 Pro, we can see everything fits perfectly. So the camera cutout is 100% fitting really well. Oh, there's also a big lip here around to protect the huge cameras now. And the power button can be pressed real nice. And then the volume rockers are also pressable. And the alert slider is also very correctly positioned. So yeah, as you can see here, cases from the iPhone 13 Pro cannot be used on the iPhone 14 Pro, and vice versa. So earlier today in the studio, we actually took the official Apple iPhone 13 Pro leather case and put it onto the dummy unit of the iPhone 14 Pro. Yeah, the buttons do not match, and the camera bump obviously is gonna be problematic because it just refuses to get in. So yeah, this is a rather short video just to tell you that these two phones are very different in terms of its button positioning and also the camera bump size, even though they are looking to be identical in terms of its screen size and also the dimensions of the phone. So do give us a like and subscribe if you find this to be useful, and we'll see you in another video where we talk about the cases by Taurus, because we were sent a huge stack of them.